Hi ladies, I know hard to believe it is me. It has been a very long time. I actually had to go back and look at my videos to see when what's the last update I actually posted and what I said. I couldn't actually remember what I've told you guys. It's been that long. I'm really sorry that I have been MIA. The last few months have been really tough, and sorry, I'll just get rid of my gum. It's a bit hard to talk with that in your mouth. It's been a really tough couple of months, and I've kind of, I guess, been avoiding doing this video. So I feel bad that I haven't updated you guys and kept you in the loop, so this is me doing that now. So since last we spoke, I was busy getting ready to do my second transfer, which of course hasn't worked. And that was, I think, in July. So let me just say, I have a whole lot of videos that I was going to post, footage that I've taken of transfers done and things like that, but I don't think I'm going to post them because it's a little bit too painful, and it's also kind of, nothing happened, so I kind of don't feel like there's any point posting stuff that just hasn't happened. So I'm just going to talk it through in this video, and I'm sorry that this video is so disjointed. So the second transfer didn't work, and I took that really tough. I don't know if I talked about that in my last video, but I was just not in the right frame of mind. I wasn't in the right headspace to do that second transfer, especially after how crazy the first one went, if you can remember back that far, because it was so long ago. So once the second transfer didn't work, nothing happened with that transfer. It just didn't stick. It was nothing. Mike and I decided to take a month's break. I just needed a break from needles and worrying about everything, and you know, when things aren't working, it's just really hard to keep motivated and to keep in good spirits when it comes to this type of thing, and you're so emotionally tied into the situation. So we took a month's break, which I think means we did our next transfer in September. And I was feeling so much better about that transfer. I was in a much better headspace. I'd given myself time to kind of get my head around things, and I was feeling really positive. We named our little embryo baby Faith because I just was putting a lot of faith and hope into this embryo, and anyway, it didn't work. It was another chemical pregnancy. The level was so low. It was like 8 or 9. It was pathetic, the HCG, and it's so frustrating because when it's a chemical and it's that low, because they still make you do blood tests till the level drops. So it's like, it was just really tough going through that again, another chemical. And then they wanted me to, so when they called to say that it was negative, they wanted me to wait another month in between doing the next transfer, because it was a chemical, and they want you to take month breaks in between. And I said to the lady, the level was so, I didn't even think it was 9. I think it was like 7 or 8. I said to her, the level was so low. Do I really have to take another month's break in between before we go for the, the following cycle? Anyway, and she called me back, and the doctor said that's fine, we can do the next transfer. So we did our 4th transfer in October. So sorry, with the 3rd transfer is they had to actually defrost 2 embryos, because when they defrosted the first one, it didn't survive the freezing process, which was a little bit frustrating, because you kind of you feel like you lose one instantly in the process. There's no going back. They can't change anything. You can't do anything about it. So anyway, so come October, we did our 4th transfer, feeling pretty good about things, but I'm kind of getting into the rhythm now when I can tell that they're not working. And I could just tell with the third one and the fourth one that this wasn't working. Needless to say, it didn't work. It was another chemical pregnancy. So after the third transfer, I was getting pretty miffed because we're slowly burning through our embryos here, with nothing happening, with no results, with no, long-term pregnancy ending in baby results. So I decided to book an appointment with one of the doctors there to find out what's going on. What other tests can be done? Can we put 2 embryos back instead of 1? And, at this point, I would rather have twins than have no babies. Do you know what I mean? I know twins is dangerous. I know multiple births are not the safest things under the sun. But at the end of the day, I would rather have twins than have no results at all. Anyway, when I booked this appointment, it was after my third transfer had failed. It takes 4 weeks for you to get in to see the doctor, because this is all government funded IVF. So because it's going through the government system, just like I'm sure everywhere in the world, it takes forever and a day. So the day I went to go and talk to the doctor about why things weren't working was the same day I found out that our 4th transfer hadn't worked, which was the 31st of October. So I went to see him in the morning, and I got the results in the afternoon. So I went into that appointment with him knowing that 4th one hadn't worked, because I could feel the symptoms. I'd been cramping like a mother, and I knew that it hadn't worked. When I went in to see him, I went in just by myself. I didn't have my mum. I didn't have Myke with me. And in hindsight, I really should have had someone with me, because I was already nervous. I was already kind of anticipating the negative result later that afternoon. I was already emotional and feeling like, that there was something wrong with me. So I wasn't in a good headspace. And then I got a doctor who, sometimes I wonder why these people work in fertility clinics. He was patronizing and sarcastic almost in my questions. It got to the point where I actually stopped asking questions and just wanted to get finished with the appointment, because I was sick of feeling like I was being talked to like I was a child. When I asked if I could transfer 2 embryos, he was like, no, that's just not going to happen. You're not going to find anywhere in New Zealand that is going to do that for you, and that's not going to help you at all. It's not going to make things any better. All it means is we're going to waste 2 embryos instead of 1. Now, there's no reason and no reason for him to talk to me like that. He could tell I was nervous, he could tell I was upset, and there was no reason for him to talk to me like that. Of course, when he talks to me like this, now I'm in tears, because my tear ducts are apparently connected to every other nerve in my body, which made me angry that I cried, because I didn't want him to almost like get the better of me in a way. And I know that sounds silly, but you know what I mean. So that appointment didn't really go well, and I told him, well, I want more blood tests done. I want scans. I need to know what is going on, why these transfers aren't working. Because the other thing he said that miffed me off was, I said to him, I'm trying to understand why these transfers aren't working. And he says, well, out of your 4 transfers, you've had 3 chemicals. So for us, that's still a positive result because you got pregnant. And I'm like, well, that might be a positive result for you, but there's still no baby in my arms, so how is that a positive result? And it's all about the medical, I don't know the scientific stuff behind it, that for them it's a good result, but at the end of the day, what does it mean to me? I can't show pictures of my embryos to my friends and say, look at my pregnant embryos that I had for 4 days before I lost them, or whatever the case may be. So, sorry. As you can tell, it's still a little bit raw, and I'm still a little bit frustrated from how that conversation went. So now it is, what are we? November 29th today. It's Sunday. And I asked him to book me in for a scan. He said it would take 4 to 6 weeks. You'll hear from us soon. It's now end of November, so nearly a month on, and I haven't heard anything about getting the scan done. So now I have to call them again and ask them when are they booking me in for the scan. One of the things that I've noticed about public funding is if you're not the person who is pushing for things to happen, things won't happen. The medical staff, certainly at Fertility Plus, aren't necessarily the ones pushing for you to have things done and figure out what's going on. They had one really great doctor there, Laura. She was awesome, but she's pregnant and is now on maternity leave. I don't know if she's coming back, and I'm quite sad about that. I'm not trying to look, and one of the things I want to say is I'm not playing down anything, and I'm not ungrateful that I get to do this for free. I know that there's so many people around the world that have to pay lots of money to get this done, tens of thousands of dollars, and I don't want to sound unappreciative. That's not the case at all. But in a country like New Zealand, I guess I just expect a little bit of better care from medical professionals who, even though I might not be paying them directly, my taxes, the people around me who love me, their taxes are going towards having excellent medical care. Whether it's funded, whether it's private, to me, if you're a medical professional, your number one thing should be about looking after your patient in the best possible way. I mean, I could be wrong, but to me, that's important. And that's not just about medically, but also physically and mentally having them in the right frame of mind. So, after I went at this doctor's appointment, I asked the doctor for these tests, and he said, now because of this, you won't be able to do a transfer in November or December because we kind of closed over most of December. In fact, you probably won't get in January because we closed most of January, so the earliest you might get in is January, but it's most likely February. So at this news, I got really upset because, once again, it's out of my control, of having to wait another 4 or 5 months to do a bloody transfer because, they're not prepared to have me there or care for me. I suppose their paying customers come first in that regard. Fair enough. But, you know what I mean? It's just really frustrating from my perspective. Now we have to wait longer. This news really hit me hard. I really struggled with the fact that this year wasn't going to happen. I wasn't going to get pregnant. When this whole year, the whole point of my year in 2015 was to become pregnant. And I feel like I've accomplished nothing this year. I feel like the one goal I had, I didn't achieve. And I am a person who needs to feel like I'm making a difference and moving forward in my life. And the one thing that was meant to happen didn't happen. This was, I look back at this beginning of this year and see how naive I was to think that the transfers were going to be the easy part. You know what? The needles were so much easier than this. So much easier than blood tests 12 times a month and, waiting 2 weeks to find out that once again it hasn't worked. This has been one of the worst years of my life in that regard. And that's horrible to say because this whole year was about staying positive and being in the right frame of mind and, not letting circumstances destroy our positivity. But the circumstances have got me down. The circumstances have made it difficult to be positive. And after I found out that my transfer hadn't worked, 3 of our really close friends, 3 separate couples, have told us that they're pregnant, which I'm so stoked for them. But again, it's just like when it rains, it pours. It's like if they had been spread out sporadically. But no, they all happened within a space of a week, and it was just so damn hard to hear that news. And it plummeted. I didn't want to hang out with people. I felt like I was going back, and I've had depression before, and I could just feel myself getting back into that depression. So I went to see one of the counselors at the fertility clinic that they have available for us, and she was really helpful in just helping me process some of these things. Myke and I have had a really long talk about stuff. He's graduating next week, which I'm so excited about. He's passed everything. He's ready to go. He's got a job already, just like 5 minutes up the road. Not even. It's like a 5-minute walk up the road. He's got a job. He got offered a job 4 days into his placement at this school he's going to be working at. I am so excited for next year to have 2 incomes, to feel like we're going to move forward in our lives. It's not about just waiting till study finishes or whatever. It's now just moving forward. And we've been talking about next year. And I need some things in my life that aren't just about getting pregnant, because I can't control that. I can't control having a baby. It's out of my control. I can't make my body keep the embryo stuck inside. I can't do anything about that. And I need something that I can look forward to, that I know will happen and I can be excited about. And we've talked a lot about this, and it's been a really tough decision. But we've decided to delay our next embryo transfer until much later in the year, next year. We want to have a holiday. We're thinking of going to America for a couple of months and having like a really good long break. Sorry, the shadow of my phone is on my face. But I just need something to focus on other than trying to have a baby. Not because my desire to have a baby is any less. I am still desperate to be a mother. I cannot express that enough. And I know Myke is desperate to be a dad. We are so desperate to be parents. And I know every time another pregnancy announcement comes out, it's going to be another heartbreak. It's going to be another more painful news. But I just need to be myself for a little bit. I need us to be ourselves for a little bit. I'm not going to be any kind of a mother being in the state I'm in anyway. And this decision is so tough to make because, you know, it's more delays and it's more waiting and it's more all these things. But I just need to be myself again for a little bit and enjoy life with my husband and love myself and not be feeling like a failure and feeling like I don't deserve to be a mum because of how things have happened this year. So it's not an easy decision to make to wait more. But I think for my own sanity and for my marriage and for my future children, I just need to love myself for a bit and do something for me. So, I don't know how much I'm going to vlog over the next little bit. Maybe if you guys had some questions for me, some things you wanted me to talk about, if you wanted to hear more about our plans for our trip, you know, I might talk about baby stuff from time to time. But at the moment it's just really hard. Even making this video is really tough to talk about it because it brings it all to the surface again, and thinking about taking a break, I'm still in kind of two minds about it. And I don't know if we're going to get all the way to the end of next year. Who knows? I mean, we've made that plan before and we did it in March. But I think we just need to love ourselves for a bit and get in a better physical condition. I've put on so much weight this year. And I hate looking in the mirror. And I don't want to be the fat mum. And I don't want to be the fat pregnant lady. So I want to get healthier this year. And I just need to love myself. Because I can't be a good mum if I don't actually love myself. So sorry, this is a lot of ramble. I'm sorry this video is so shaky. I'm sorry for it all, but I just thought it was only fair that I would update you all on how I've been. I'm okay. I am okay. But I'm just raw. You know what I mean? I'm just really raw. My heart is just, everything is very sensitive and tough. And just one last thing. I think this has been the hardest thing, is that December 15th would have been my due date for our first embryo transfer. And I'm so dreading December and dreading Christmas, because I really thought I would be a mum. And I just cannot wait for this year to be over. Sorry, I didn't want to cry in this video. And can I just say, sorry, I know this is really long, and I'm not going to edit this, I'm just going to post it up as it is, but I cannot say how grateful I am in words for my family, my mum and my dad, and my beautiful, wonderful husband, and my brother, our family, and our amazing friends, and you people, and our church family who have looked out for us. As hard as it is to be public about this journey, it has been made much less painful having support through it. People who love us and care for us and make the effort for us. And even if I might not post all the time, I am here for you and those who are walking through this journey. And my faith has certainly been stretched, but by no means am I far from God. And I know that even when I'm walking through this tough time in my life, He's with me. And I hope that you know He's with you too. Whatever your religious beliefs, I hope you know that I pray for you. I'm sorry this is such a sad video, but this is the reality of IVF. This is the reality of this journey. And there's no point faking it. There's no point pretending it doesn't happen. This is what IVF looks like. This is what infertility looks like. But I'm grateful I don't have to walk it alone. So thank you.